My name is Natalie, and I have a student at the middle school who is in said teacher's class. We were informed by Bill that when teachers buy books on their own or have fundraisers to purchase books to put into their classrooms, these books are reviewed by a team of teachers in order to ensure that they meet the standards defined by Michigan Standards for ELA. I would like to know what teachers read these books and thought they met any sort of standard to be in a middle school English class. I'm going to just read a few excerpts from the book All Boys Aren't Blue, which is available on Dawn Medendorf's class. In her classroom, many copies. The first part is when the author was 13 and he engaged in some sexual activity with his older cousin who was 18. It was the first time I'd ever touched a penis that wasn't my own. I knew that what was happening wasn't supposed to happen. Cousins weren't supposed to do these things with cousins. There you stood in front of me, fully erect, and said, "Taste it." At first I laughed and refused, but then you said, "Come on, Matt, taste it. This is what boys like us do when we like each other." I finally listened. You told me to come to the bathroom. You wanted to show me one more thing. You began stroking yourself in front of me and you kept saying, "Just keep watching, Matt." When you began to moan slightly, you ejaculated into the toilet in front of me.
Sick.
Later in the book, he reached his hand down and pulled out my dick. He quickly went to giving me head. He then came up and asked me if I wanted to try on him. I said, "Sure." I began. He said, "Watch your teeth." For a few minutes, we dry humped and grinded. I was behind him with my stomach on his back as we kissed. After a few minutes of fun and games, he got up and went to the nightstand where he pulled out a condom and some lube. He then lay down on his stomach. I knew what I had to do, even if I had never done it before. I remember the condom was blue and flavored like cotton candy. I put some lube on, got him up on his knees, and began to slide into him from behind. I tried not to force it, because I imagined that it'd be painful. I didn't want this moment to be painful, so I eased it in slowly until I heard him moan. As we moved, I could tell he was excited. We went at it for about 15 minutes. I started to get that feeling. I finally came and let out a loud moan. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated, and then he also came. There is a fear, as with most things, that you are doing for the first time, but this was my ass. And I was struggling to imagine someone inside of me, and he was large. But I was gonna try. I had previously topped someone who clearly enjoyed it, but he'd been enjoying anal sex before I ever came along. Nervous and drunk, I listened and got on my stomach. He got on top of me, slowly inserted himself inside of me. It was the worst pain I think I'd ever felt in my life. He added more lube and tried again, which felt better, but not much. I am sickened to think that there are books like this in any classroom in the middle school for any child to read. This is pornographic, and I believe Donna Medendorf knew exactly what she was doing when she brought this book in. Bill, there has to be a better policy.
Yes.
Thank
because
you.
the policy
That's your
you're
time.
using is not working.
Yes. Yeah.